We're in the stock market to make money. But why the stock market? What is so great about the stock market that attracts a lot of us into it? But you'll understand that the stock market is a business unlike any other. And it's a business, by the way. So what are some of the peculiarities, the characteristics of the stock market that really is like a magnet that draws all of us into this? Well, I'll take you through all of them. And at the end, I'll make you understand why this is really a special place to be. Firstly, limited capital. You require only little amount of money to get started. So unlike other businesses that require, a factory, machines, labor, raw material, before you can get started, in this business, you can get started with just 50 rupees in your pocket. However, this is a two-edged sword. There are both positive and negative connotations to the limited capital requirement. The positive side is just that. You can get started with very little amount of money. But the negative side, I'll come to that. Secondly, and one of my favorites, is that there are no bosses and there are no workers. But there is something that is really working for me. That's right, it's my money. It's a true money working for you kind of a situation, or money making money kind of a situation. There's no one to answer to, well, except yourself. And there's no one accountable except you. It is transparent and very liquid. Irrespective of how much money you have in your account, you could be just getting started, or you could be the Morgan Stanleys of the world. There is only one price, the one flashing on your screen. So it is completely transparent business. Secondly, unlike other markets such as real estate, it is very liquid. There's so many participants. It's very easy to get in and out of trades. And then, of course, it gives you more time for yourself. You see, all businesses have a production cycle. You get the order, you source the raw material, do the production, packaging, manage the logistics, get it delivered, invoicing, and then you get paid. But in the business of investing, in the business of trading, you are directly connected to the money-making activity. You put on a trade, you get paid. You put on a trade, you get paid. And so you eliminate that entire middle process. This leaves you with more time than you know what to do with, which means you can work little and get maximum benefit. Since you're directly connected to the money-making activity, you get maximum leverage on your time. That means you only need the minimum amount of effort and have the rest of the time available to you to do whatever you want to do. Follow a passion, spend time with your family, whatever it is that you want to do. And then, of course, you can make money all the time. So it doesn't matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways. You see, most people believe that there is only one way to make money from the market: buy and hold, or as we like to call it, buy and pray. But there are so many other strategies that can be deployed depending on what the market is doing. So if the market's going sideways, you can make money. If the market's going up, of course, you can make money. And even if the market's going down, you can make money. Then, of course, it is less risky. Now, this one always gets people looking at me like I'm from Mars or something. The stock market, less risky. You can't say one without saying the other, right? Well, let me tell you that it is less risky. In fact, by the end of this course, you will be 100% convinced that this is the least risky of all businesses. Here's how it goes. You see, the reason people think it is risky is because of the low capital requirement. Now, as I mentioned to you, there's the flip side, the negative side of the low capital requirement. Well, this is it. Just because you can get started for just 50 rupees in your pocket, it doesn't mean that you should. I don't go around getting into the business of a doctor or a pilot, right, without getting the necessary knowledge, experience, and know-how. So what gives you the right to come into my business, right, without the knowledge, experience, and know-how, lose your money, and then turn around and call the business risky? Well, any business is risky, right? If you don't have the knowledge, if you don't have the experience, if you don't know what you're doing, then any business that you get into is risky. But because there is a low capital requirement, people jump in and lose their money and then call it risky. But believe me, if you know what you're doing, if you've taken the time to get the experience, to get the knowledge and the know-how, then this is the least risky of all the businesses out there. And I will show it to you through this course. Now, as attractive as the concept, the business of the stock market is, it has a great sense of mystery surrounding it. And that's what leads to a number of myths. So let's walk through some of those. Myth number 1, you have to be an expert to make money. The reality is that investing is a team sport. So while it is true that you need to have the necessary knowledge to succeed in the market, you don't have to do it all by yourself, right? So if you know how to create a system for consistent profitability from the market, profits from the market, then you can outsource, you can get a team together to help you with the various components. For example, at the income option, we have created an investment system that has been giving consistent returns from the market. Our team of experts do the analysis, and this can be easily adopted by other investors to create the same desired results. Myth number 2, you can't beat the market. The reality is that the financial industry has created a subdued outlook in the kind of returns that you can make from the market. And rightfully so. You see, if you know what you're doing, if you understand risk management, and I'll talk to you more about that a little later, But if you know risk management, you'll understand the various components that go into creating greater returns for yourself. And you can make use of a number of sophisticated products that use higher leverage and give you greater returns and more control on your investing. But unfortunately, since the average investor doesn't know about these products and doesn't know about, more particularly, about risk management, these products are out of the purview, out of reach of most investors. You see, since the average investor doesn't understand risk, and of course, it's in the interest of the financial industry to keep it that way, he is not able to manage these products, which give you higher leverage and greater returns. And so the average investor is kept out of the market as far as these products are concerned. And so obviously, the expectations of returns also need to be reduced. However, if you look behind the closed doors of these sophisticated investors, you will be surprised by the kind of returns that these firms are making regularly for these sophisticated investors. For example, our own system has beaten the market over the last 5-6 years, creating a steady stream of income every month. And finally, myth number 3, to minimize risk, diversify and hold. The reality is that you have to understand risk, control it, and focus your energy on high probability, high returns investment. There is the lazy way of investing, and then there is the right way of investing. Most people would gladly hand over their money to a black box and expect miracles to happen. That's not how it works. You have to create the system with specific risk allocation, then find the high probability and high return investments, and then focus.